Hello, Mark here with another edition of Weaponized Truth. One of the things that you hear a lot of people talking about, and I've thought about covering this myself, and I may still yet, but so far I've decided not to because there's so many people covering it, is that Facebook has created a manifesto for globalization, which is obviously another tool of the United Nations and Agenda 21 and depopulating the planet. People like Enter the Stars and W7 and all the crew over at iCitizen News, if you haven't seen their channels, are doing some pretty excellent work on this subject, to be honest, and I would definitely go check out their videos on that. Another manual that you may not have heard of, and another situation that you may have heard something about, but you may not be familiar with, is what's going on with Obama. As we know, Obama has said that he is not going to leave Washington, D.C., and yet he still has not. And he's not going to. Obama linked activists have a training manual for protesting Trump. Now, and I'm just going to bring this up because I think this is important to remember. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Pete Santilli, the man who still sits in prison for what happened at the Bundy Ranch standoff, even after being found innocent of things related to the Oregon Malheur Wildlife Refuge standoff. Now, if you've ever seen his channel, he actually talked about these sophisticated forms of propaganda used by the government. And Obama apparently is quite familiar with them. And I highly recommend that you go back and you watch some of Pete Santilli's videos if you want more detailed information on this stuff. But when you see what he's got in his little training manuals here, well, it's just something else. Now, an Obama-tied activist group training tens of thousands of agitators to protest President Trump's policies plan to hit Republican lawmakers supporting those policies even harder this week when they return home for the congressional recess and hold town hall meetings and other functions. Organizing for Action, a group founded by Obama and featured prominently on his new post-presidency website, is distributing a training manual to anti-Trump activists that advises them to bully GOP lawmakers into backing off of support for repealing Obamacare, curbing immigration from high-risk Islamic nations, and building a border wall. So basically, he wants these people to bully the Republicans to make sure that the downfall of America is complete. Now, in a Facebook post, OFA calls on activists to mobilize against Republicans from now until February 26, when representatives are going to be in their home districts. The protesters disrupted town hall meetings earlier this month, including one held in Utah by House Oversight Chairman Jason Chaffetz, who was confronted by hundreds of angry demonstrators claiming to be his constituents. The manual, published with OFA partner Indivisible, advises protesters to go into halls quietly as to not raise alarms and grab seats at the front of the room, but do not sit all together. Rather, spread out in pairs to make it seem like the whole room opposes the Republican host positions. This will help reinforce the impression of broad consensus. Y'all get this, right? They're telling small groups of people to sneak into these meetings, go in pairs, and spread out through the crowd, and all start booing and protesting at the same time to try to make it look like everybody's doing it, when that is by no means the case. This is sophisticated brainwashing. And this is exactly what Obama is telling them to do on his website. And the goal is to make Republicans, even from safe districts, second guess their support for the Trump agenda. Even the safest Republican will be deeply alarmed by the signs of organized opposition, the document says, because these actions create the impression that they're not connected to their district and not listening to their constituents. After the event, protesters are advised to feed video footage to local and national media. And as you know, more times than not, these protests, which oftentimes can actually be very small, can get hours and hours of coverage and made to look like there's something much, much bigger than they actually are. Unfavorable exchanges caught on video can be devastating for Republican lawmakers, it says, when shared through social media and picked up by local and national media. After protesters gave MSNBC, CNN, and the networks footage of their dust-up with Chavez, for example, the outlets ran them continuously, forcing Chavez to issue statements defending himself. The manual also advises protesters to flood Trump-friendly lawmakers' Hill offices with angry phone calls and emails demanding the resignation of top White House advisor Steve Bannon. So, I'm not even going to continue. I don't want to read this whole damn thing. I'm going to leave a link to the article. But as you can see, and this isn't just anybody advising people to do this sophisticated form of brainwashing on the American people. This is the former United States of America teaching people how to deceive America and in order to help continue to bring down the country even after he is no longer president. I don't care if you like Trump, and I don't care if you like Obama. How can any rational person sit down and look at this and say, that's okay? We don't have a problem. This is fucked up. So, anyways, this is what's going on. This is the evil that we're fighting against. This is the brainwashing we're fighting against. And at least if we know the stuff that they are trying to do, then we know how to combat it. So, anyways, I'll leave a link to the article. Y'all take care.